welcome to all of you present here for the short-term training program on emotional intelligence for teaching staff in enhancing efficiency of students. This is the last session of the first phase. So now I would like to introduce our today's speaker, Dr. P. Priyadarshini, Head of the Department, Tagore Engineering College, who is going to talk about the conclusion of on effective management and overall view of emotional intelligence. Ma'am, Head of the Department, ma'am, she is very well known for this emotional intelligence. Actually, this is her seventh session during this COVID period itself. She has 18 years of experience in teaching. Her area of research is emotional intelligence, conducted behavioral assessment, stress management program for industries personas, and she has been resource person for FDP. She has published more than 60 articles in reputed journals, authored books for MBA students. She is acting as even now she's acting as an ED cell chief coordinator for the past 7 years. She has conducted many programs for the development of entrepreneurship among students and social backward women in rural areas. So I welcome you, ma'am. Over
Thank
to
you.
you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Kavita. I don't know where you took my profile. Thank you, Kavita,
Yes.
for reading it. Thank you. And good evening, all. So I'm very much happy to connect with you as a resource person for this session. And I think I will do a justice. I believe that I could do a justice to an extent for this title. There were so many eminent people who were discussing about what is emotional intelligence, and even today morning we had a very wonderful session how to handle emotions, and we had a session on social intelligence. And my role here is to conclude, to have a conclusion on this phase 1 session. So what is emotional intelligence, and what is the role of EI in classroom effective teaching, for classroom teaching? So that is what is that. I would like to then to make it as a general conclusion of all the session titles and session topics. Sorry, on the session topics, I would like to brief on the contents in a what do you say, like in a continuous way. So, and I would also like to touch upon few aspects of emotional intelligence. So thank you all for joining the session. So first, let me move into the session. Vignesh, is that my screen is visible? Kavita?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So emotional intelligence is a very, very nice topic, and it is like as Kavita said, in this pandemic there were invites for a lot of people who are working on EI. So I too had an invite. So for to discuss for academicians, there was a not on exactly for academicians, but for a general industry people, and for an MDP, and for students, and for academician it was not on EI, but it was generally managing stress. So this is the first time I'm going to handle it for an academician, that is completely on EI. So I feel it is a very challenging task, and this is a very nice topic close to my heart. That is why I didn't want to miss this session when it was given to me. And why I am telling is I have already handled this session is, it is not that as I'm the coordinator, we are all the coordinator, we are handling the session. It is because we have worked on with EI, and this is a very very nice topic, and I didn't want to miss an opportunity. That's why I'm taking up this session. So thank you all. And let me start a session. Before that, even now we did incur a case. What is that is, when I did enter into this Zoom platform, Kavita was talking. Okay, she was giving the introduction. Okay, but what is that is, I thought as the earlier before this connect of the meeting, there was a line like audio line disruption in her mobile, and she logged into tab. So I perceived that there is a problem in her mobile. That is why I couldn't hear. Okay, but the problem was in my side, where it got muted without my knowledge, where I couldn't hear her. But what happened in that that 30 seconds of time is, my perception was like based on the previous other things that her line was on her line has a mistake and my line was clear. So but when I did see only from her face to face reaction, and as there was no response from anyone, I understood that there is a mistake in my line and I did correct it. Okay, so this is what is the concept of like this EI. So how do we understand others from their point of view? It is not that we see things only in our own perception or in our based on previous experience. It is like we have to understand the situation and we have to understand the face reaction of others and we have to know what is happening. That is what is that EI is all about. So we I think the situation supported us to get a case from that. So let me start with one nice question. We all wish to be happy. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Participants? Yes?
Yes.
Yes. We all wish to be happy. One second. Give me a time. Sorry, there was a problem in my laptop. It got hacked. Yes. So, so we all wish to be happy, right? So I wish to share you a secret. Okay. So life is 10% what happens to us, and 90% is how we react to it. Do we all agree?
Yes, ma'am. True.
That's true. Yes. So
Yes.
life is something like, 10%. Okay. We can just say only the 10% is what it happens to us, but 90% is something how we react to it. So that is what is the secret of happiness. And that is what is that I wish to share to you right now. How we can all be happy by understanding this secret of happiness, how we can react to it in a positive way. That is what is this session is going to be all about, how we react to it in a positive way. And we all know that in our day-to-day life, who are our who are the people with whom we interact much? Yes, dear participants, with whom do we interact much? With whom do we interact much? Other than your family. Anyone? You are giving answers in chat.
Answers in chat.
See,
I see some answers
I
in
feel,
chat.
let's all talk. Okay, because I am also like a teacher. Okay, why did I wanted to have this session is, if we have like, we all are sailing on the same boat. Whatever might be, we are all sailing on the same boat. We know what we face, and I know what you face, and we all are having the same pitch. Like kids, we say no, same pitch. That's what is that we are all doing it. So let us make it as a very interactive session, so that this is not that I alone give any inputs, or it's not that I'm such a big expert to give any inputs. Let's have it as a interactive forum where we discuss with each other and we get to know inputs. That's what I wanted to share with you. So as you people said, the people with whom we interact are students, right? So the students and our colleagues, and the majority of people whom we interact are students. Okay, so in our career, how many students we would have met? Can anyone tell me how many students you would have met in your career till this date? How many students you would have met? Okay, let me open the chat box. Thousands. Pratima ma'am. Okay, thousands. Great. Then any other answer? Any other answers? More than 500. Sudha Pichai ma'am. Yes. 1000. Yes. More, yeah, nearly. Okay. Every batch more than 600. Sweetie Kripa. Yes, ma'am. So we have met more than thousands, more than thousands. Okay. In a batch, we can say like 3000. Yeah. Kirti Cardigan. Yes, madam. 3000. Yes. In a batch, we need 200 students in a batch, or at least the minimal of 100 we can take. And if you have 18 years or 10 years of experience, you can mean that we have met nearly 1000. Okay. So on an average, every teacher would have had an impact of impact on the lives of students with the minimal number of more than 500,000 or so. So every day we interact with them. So how we can be happy and how we can keep them happy is how we respond to them. That is what is the secret of happiness. I wish to share it to you. It is not very easy to respond in a very positive way. How could we respond? So there are different tools for anything. Okay. Even you want to cook, we go to a tool, that is we go for a tool of YouTube. Okay. Even we want to learn a driving, we go to a driving, learning center. Or we want to learn some software tools, we download it from particular site or particular app and we learn it. So in the same way, this emotional intelligence is a tool. Okay, that is what I wanted to brief it. So emotional intelligence is just a tool. It is it is not just, it is a tool. Why I mean it is justice, it is a medium of a platform. Okay, so it is a tool by which we can keep ourselves happy and we can keep all the people around us happy. In the sense I try to mean that, yeah, where in our period of lifetime, we can say, okay, I have kept nearly 5,000 people happy. Other than a media person, no one could see that. Even you take a software guy, he cannot say that he has kept 1,000 people happy. Or so a CEO can say he has kept some 2,000 people happy. Or a doctor can say he has kept so many people lives happy. In the same way, we hold a proud, as like a CEO or as like a noble profession of a doctor or a nurse, we have a role of keeping people happy. So how could we do that? That is what is the tool is emotional intelligence. That is what is that we are going to discuss. And that is what is this whole forum is framed on that concept. So before that, let us start with the pyramid model of 4 intelligence. So what are all the levels of intelligence which we should be aware of? There are 4 levels of intelligence. First one is called as PQ. PQ is physical body awareness and skillful use of it. That is how we are aware of our health, how we are aware of our body and all those things. Next is your IQ. IQ is our intelligence level. So intelligence level is your mental abilities, your verbal abilities, ability to understand a subject, ability to teach a subject. That is all is IQ. And then next comes the hero of this show is EQ. EQ is the level where you understand yourself and you understand the people around you and you manage the relationship in a very better way and in the best way. So that is what is that EQ. And above the EQ, you have a quotient called a spiritual quotient. Spiritual quotient is what is that is your inner wisdom. Okay, your inner wisdom, which is guided by compassion and equanimity. That is your inner peace, where you have a your balance of your inner peace and you have a balance of your outer peace. So you can attain this level only when, as it is like a pyramid, you can attain that level only when we cross these 3 levels. So it becomes important for every one of us to have a proper EQ so that we have a better balance between our inner peace and outer peace. And next, what is the emotional intelligence? So as like I told you, it is the capacity for recognizing our own feelings and those of others, and for motivating ourselves and managing ourselves, and also managing well in emotions of others. So that is what is EI. And the pioneer of EI, as like we discussed on the day 1 session, it is Daniel Goleman. So this symbol is iconic symbol of EI. So what is that is, you have a two hearts. That is, you could smile from your heart when you understand this EI. So that is the iconic symbol of EI. And then in the day one beginning, we were discussing about, even one of the participants asked like which year it evolved and what are all the different levels. So EI started its phase in the year of 1990, which was discussed by Peter Salovey and John Mayer. They just described an article about EI in the year of 1990. And before that evolution, there was a concept called as multiple intelligence, which was right from the year of 1983. So that was a multiple intelligence. And after this article of Peter Salovey and Mayer, there was a book, okay, which was by Daniel Goleman. So after this book, there was a, it was like a Bible for EI. So after this book, the EI had its own fame, and there were many researchers which was conducted on EI. And in this, now now the evolution of EI is something which has been done with the interrelationship or correlationship with different variables, and EI has been interrelated with other intelligence, and even emotional intelligence has. There is a study going on how EI could be linked with artificial intelligence. So a present study has been carrying on in Britain. So where they have interrelated EI in artificial intelligence, which was tested for a patients with amnesia. So where the doctors were found to have more stress, they introduced artificial intelligence concept that was acting as an intermediator between the doctors and the patients. So what happened out of this artificial intelligence concept was that the doctor's stress also got down, and even the patients were getting better. So this is a recent research which is done on interdisciplinary researchers and how EI can be extended in different phases. And then there are four domains, and some of you could have thought what every resource person is telling, the previous resource person has briefed, okay, because everyone was telling already people would have briefed, but as I was the participant in all the session, there was a very what do you say, like a very light touch upon on these topics. But in the phase 2, whoever is participating in the phase 2 of this STTP, you will be able to get to know about each dimensions in a separate session. So that is how we have designed this session. So, but before that, as I have to play my role in a better way, I just brief you the 4 quadrants of emotional intelligence. You have a 4 quadrants. The first quadrant is self-awareness. So what is that self-awareness? Today morning, Harni ma'am did a wonderful job on that. She did say what is self-awareness. It is understanding yourself, understanding your own emotions. So that is what is the first quadrant. And your second quadrant is that self-management. So once you get to know about your own emotions, and the next quadrant is how do you manage it in a better way. So even there were questions like how do you handle stress, how do I handle anger. So there were some questions asked by participants. That is by this second quadrant, that is self management. So how do you control yourself, and then how do you keep up a transparency, and then how do you take initiation, and how do you drive yourself in a better way. That is all is your self management. This is quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. And then your third quadrant is your social awareness. Social awareness is how do you understand the people around you. So how do you get to know about the people around you? That is what is that social awareness. And you have a very, very important component which we should know it in detail is empathy. So among all the dimensions of EI, empathy stands on the top top of the pyramid of EI. That is the social awareness, and more than the social awareness, on the top of the pyramid of EI, empathy stands there. So that is what is that social awareness. So irrespective of your job or irrespective of your roles, we have to be more empathetical. So when it comes to family, we have to be more empathy towards our family members. You know, many diverse cases, you know, there was a research on the diverse cases, the behavioral studies were conducted. What was it found is the reasons for divorces was that there was a lack of empathy between the couples. So when you want to have a happy family life, we need to be more empathetical towards our spouse, and we need to be empathetical towards our kids. And when you want to be successful in your career, we need to be more empathetical towards our peer groups and our subordinates and even with our superiors. And when it comes to a teacher, as we started with this session, every day we handle 100 human lives. So we need to be more empathetical in understanding them. So that is where empathy stands on the top of all the dimensions of EI. So that comes in your social awareness, that is your third quadrant. And your fourth quadrant is relationship management. So what is that relationship management is? How better you are in managing the social component. That is how better you are in having a good relationship with the people around you. That is how good you are as a leader, how good you are as a motivator, and how good you are in influencing the people, and how good you are in handling the change. So how good you are in what is like creating an implication on the change, and your conflict management. Everything comes in our relationship management. So these are all the four quadrants of emotional intelligence. And as like I informed you in the day one, the phase two, you will be covering on self-awareness as a separate session, and then self-management as a separate session, and social awareness and relationship management, where you can get to know in detail how you can broaden that particular quadrant in a better way. What are all the tips, what are all the strategies? And then now coming to the emotions and workplace. So there have been studies so which has stated that emotions are an integral and inseparable part of everyday organizational life. So the experience of work is saturated with emotions, right from the moments of fear, joy, frustration, or grief, commitment, or dissatisfaction. Either you are committed or you are dissatisfied. Everything is based on the how the emotions roll in the workplace. I think now you could all correlate with our own jobs. So this emotions has a very important place in our workplace, and which has an important place even in job satisfaction. So it becomes important for us to understand the role of emotions in the workplace. So we all other than the management people, a technical guy might ask a question. As a teacher, I'm an expert. I did my PhD in this and that university, and I have 15 years or 20 years of experience in teaching. I know these many software, I know these many tools, and then I'm a very good teacher. Okay, that's how a person can say that is right. But it's not that alone is enough. Okay, so there comes a question: what is IQ and what is EQ? Okay, whether we as to be a good teacher, we should be strong in our intelligent quotient, or we should be strong in our emotional quotient. It is not a debate. I'll in the end of my session, I'll be able to give you the answer for it. I believe I will be able to give an answer. Before that, let us see the difference between what is IQ and EQ. So IQ is your intelligent quotient. It is your ability to learn, understand, all those is your IQ. EQ is your ability to understand emotions in themselves and others. Okay. So what is that high IQ? It means you are very good in academics. What is that? It means that you are very good in EQ is you are a very good self-confident person, and you can handle any difficult situation. So that is what is the difference between the high IQ and high EQ. And now I think you'll be able to get an answer. Why is that EQ is important for us as a teacher? So to handle any difficult situation, the teaching job is full of, different uncertainties and difficult situations. So to be a good teacher to students and to have an effective classroom, we should have a good EQ. So this is what is a combination of personality, IQ and EQ, which combines together forms a good personality. And self-management and self-control. So that is also is very, very important. So how do we go for a self-management? So they say that a person without self-control is like a house with its doors and windows knocked out. Okay, so it is like when you build a house with so much of security, if the doors and windows are knocked out, then there is no safety for the house. The same way, when we don't have a proper self management and self control, which is an important quadrant of EI, so we cannot be successful in our life, or we cannot have a hero worship in the midst of anyone around us. So why is EI critical for teaching? So before that, I would like to share an alarming fact to you. Okay. So why is it that we are talking right now? This EI has got more fame when it comes to teaching fraternity. What is that? You know, this is not a nice news, but it is an alarming news which we all should get to know. You know, this is economic times. This is a statistics given by economic times that 28 students on an average commit suicide every 24 hours, which was in the year of 2018. And this was like, you know, the figure was double compared to the previous years. 10,000 was more, which was compared to the last year, it was, the number was high, 10,000 in numbers. It is not 10, it is not a number. I think as a teacher, we feel bad for it. It is not a number. 10,000 is not a number. 10,000 is a life of students, okay, who have committed suicide, who are like, you know, young buds, but, you know, before they blossom, okay, they just vanished away. Okay, so it is something, an alarming issue, right? So that is what is that which made us to, which made me to think, and I think it's not only for me, I think it will make every one of us to think why it is so, why it happens, and what could we do as a teacher. If you take in an average of 24 hours, in an average of 20, that is in a day of 24 hours, an average of 8 to 9 hours, the students spend their time with the teachers. So this is a fact not for the parents alone. This is a fact which we teacher should like, you know, get an alarm that why it happens to the student. Okay, they are like our children. Why it happens and what should we do? You know, the in this COVID also, I think you would have come across many cases in newspapers, like yeah, girl committed suicide because she was stressed of like online classes. So but you know, they have done a study. So what was the reason, you know, why they committed suicide? Okay, so it is not because of the academic pressure. Okay, it is because of the reason that they don't have anyone to share their feelings. Something, you know, this was statistics given by Times of India, which was given in the last month. Unfortunately, I don't have that article right now, but it was there. You can browse it and you can get to know that. So a very, very disappointing and very shocking, and which makes us to think these students, the reason for the suicide, the reason for the students suicide is that they don't have someone to talk, they don't have someone to understand. So like we have to feel ashamed, not is that they are known to us, but something we would have come across these cases around us. But as a teacher, we have to understand that we also, every teacher, okay, whoever it is, every teacher has some important role for these suicides. So as a teacher, we have to understand our students emotions beyond the classroom. That is not to discuss on their personal issue. I try to mean it. So it is not that we try to discuss about their day to day in and out like, you know, their emotional family things or their stories, but it is to understand what bothers them. It is to understand what is their emotional issues, so and how we as a teacher could help them. So that is what is that we have to understand. So there comes why EI is critical for teachers. So why EI is critical for teachers? So it is that why EI is critical for teaching. So teaching requires constant interaction with students and hence a continuous interplay of emotion. And it is now recognized that emotions serve as a powerful vehicle for enhancing or inhibiting learning. Okay. So this was a study given by Greenleaf in the year of 2002. It states that, I would like to repeat again, emotions serve as a powerful vehicle for enhancing or inhibiting learning, both. So we could, through understanding this emotion, we can enhance the learn, or we can even, not understanding it properly will inhibit the learning also. Okay. So negative emotions can reduce working memory. So the memory system used for holding and manipulating information while various mental tasks are carried out. And effective and successful teachers are mainly those who can handle negative feelings in a healthy way. So now I would I think I have done a justification in stating that case how we teacher are important. These are all the articles on different articles on relationship between EI and teaching. That's what I have quoted out. So what is that we can take away is, by having a positive emotions, by handling the emotions very well, we can enhance the learning process. So that is the role of a teacher. And also we could handle them better, and we could make them as a better kids. So that is where we say that EI is very, very critical for teaching. And when you have about the problems of students, we know that they have less anxiety. That is, when we handle it better, what are all the outcomes or what are all the problems we can interrelate it. They have anxiety, they have depression, and or aggressive. So when you do it, when you are able to handle it better, so they have a less anxiety, they have a less depression, and you're less aggressive, and you're less likely to bully others. And finally, even we can have a better citizen. That is, they don't have drugs, or they avoid alcohol or cigarettes. So even a teacher can build a better citizens. So that is what is the implication of EI on students. So I had a movie clip, but I couldn't play it. At the end, I will just give a try. So whether I could play the movie. Okay. So, and next comes your classroom management. So what is that? Your classroom management, as like Edamana Prasad sir discussed, and as like Maran sir discussed. So your classroom management is beyond your subject. It is being very creative. It creates both the best situation in which students can learn and the teachers can teach. Okay, so this is why I have included this slide. So what is that is, the classroom environment is simple. It is described in a simple line where the students can learn and the teacher can teach. Sorry, where this, teaching in an environment is the best classroom management. I think as teachers, you all agree. Yes, some days we come with a power pack presentation, and we come with so much of enthusiasm. We enter the class, but something happens in the classroom. What happens? We just end up, or our the energy level goes down. It is not like we go walk away, but what happens is the enthusiasm level goes down. So what happens is there is a problem in our delivery. So we can follow some strategies where we can understand this EI, where we can compose ourselves, where we can understand the emotions of students, and we can listen to them, and we can handle them in a better way. So that was that movie clip is all about. It was a movie which I have taken from Bas Enum Bhaskaran. I think many of them are would have watched the movie. And if few people are from North, other than that, I think their language problem is not there. So I think many of you would have watched that movie, Boss Enum Bhaskaran, where in that they will be giving a coaching for the people who have failed in 10th standard, and they will try all attractive techniques to make the classroom interesting, but the students will not be attentive at all. But what the hero will do is he'll bring one teacher who is a blind girl. Okay, he will bring her as a teacher in the classroom. Initially all the students will be like shouting, making noise, and they will not listen. They will even, I mean, they will just walk away. But what that girl will do is she will be teaching continuously. Okay, she'll be teaching maths, she'll be writing on the board, because as she is blind, she was not aware people are walking. Okay, but she was doing her role as such. She'll be continuously, she will be teaching maths, and then one of the student will feel how she is, and how she's able to manage and she's doing. He will come and few people will come and they will all listen to the class and they will pass the exam. So that is something, very impressive video. What is that is, what is that, we at times we need to be blind. Okay, that is what is a message I wanted to say. What is that is, at times we need to be blind. Why? What is that blind is, we should not think much from our knowledge, we should think more from our heart and more from our emotion. So that is a concept I was willing to share, because we always say this problem, that problem, student is not listening, student is not answering, he or she is sleeping on. So at that time, let us be blind. Okay, let us be blind in the sense, not, let us keep our IQ level as a blind. Let us all become ignorant. Let us see it from the heart, and let us see it from our empathetical point of view. Let us understand their emotions, and then let us keep our we see it through our EQ eyes. Definitely, I think our we'll be able to calm down, and once we start delivering it, the students will join, and where the IQ and EQ will be delivered in a proper way. So that is what is that I learned it from that movie clip. It was really good. So if any of you have time, you can watch it, or I'll share it in the group, so you can just have a look on it. So that is what. And then this is what is the slide which says about how emotional intelligence and teachers' job performance is interrelated. Emotional self-awareness, it gives you a better classroom management. Your self-confidence is able to deliver your problem solving, and it makes you different from others. And your achievement, a dimension of emotional intelligence, it enables your motivations, and your development will help you teaching, and your conflict management will enable your teaching style. I think you all agree the conflict management is very, very important for us as a teacher, because each student is different, and each classroom is different. So we always have a conflict management in the sense of the style of teaching. Okay, so we should not be authoritative, or we cannot be more paternalistic, or we cannot be more on a free rein. So everything is like to be balanced. So the conflict management style is very much important for a teaching style. And then now, I would till now I think I have touched few points on why EI is very much needed for teachers, and how emotions has a role on our learning, and also for enabling a better classroom learning, and how it is important to make ourselves equipped. And now it comes to the relationship point. So one of the most aspect of being a human being is being able to be in a good relationship is the important aspect of a human being. As a teacher, many of us will know this Maslow's theory, so which says that we are all biologically designed for relationship. I think we all agree. Yes. So even this in this COVID, what is the major problem we have is we are not able to go and meet our friends. We are not able to go outside. Do you all agree? Let me know you are all there, please. I keep myself blind, and I'm just keeping my IQ level, and I'm keeping my EQ level high, and I'm trying to address you. Is that you are all with me?
Absolutely, ma'am. You are perfectly right.
Yes, thank you, Anand sir. So what is the major problem we had in this COVID is fear of this COVID, that is the fear of the virus that is there. and the fear of loneliness. The post COVID, one of the major impact of post COVID is stress faced by those patients. What is the reason for the stress? Being isolated. So that was a reason. So what it all states is, we as a humans, we are designed to have a good relationship. Like even now, I proved that, okay, as a human I'm designed for it, and I want to hear from people around me. I want to know, oh, people are listening me, okay, they are with me. So that keeps me live, okay, that motivates me. Now when I heard Anand sir voice, I felt like I had a one big piece of dairy milk chocolate which gives me an instant energy. That's how I felt. So that is what is the implication of EI on relationship. So a very important concept I would like to touch upon is empathy. So empathy is a very, very important component which we should be aware as a teacher. So what is this empathy? We understand emotion in another person point of view. So that is what is called as empathy. So I think this diagram is the best self-explanatory for empathy. So the person who is having a black binocular is having it in the blue. So she's seeing it in that opponent point of view. The opposite person see it from that person point of view. So that is what is that empathy, which we should hold as a humans and as a teachers. And empathy is very simple. Your pain in my heart. And it is a right-brained activity. So what is that? It is right-brained activity is the kind that many leaders considered as a touchy-feely discipline. So we should hold this touchy-feely discipline. So that is very, very important. And what is sympathy and what is empathy? So sympathy is acknowledging, okay, oh, you are in a problem. Yes, I understand. Okay. So that is what is sympathy, acknowledging it. But what is empathy is understanding actually what is the pain. So that is what is empathy. So we should be more empathetical than to be a sympathetical. Why I just want to say this empathy very much is because we are, I have heard from many people even when I started, okay. So I'm blessed that I'm in this teaching for nearly 18 years. Nearly I'm going to be in touch the next decade, complete the second decade. But when I started my teaching, so I had a feel that students are not listening. They are not when I do my best, they are not listening. I'll just keep on complaining, okay. When I told this to my senior, that was in my second year of teaching, what is that? He said he was a principal, okay. So he used to address one-to-one, like he used to have a one-to-one talk with all the freshers. When I told him, sir, I did my best. He's a Naidu sir of Hindu college. So when I told him, sir, I'm very much fed up, these BBA, that I first class was BBA. So these BBA boys, they always shouting, they don't listen to me. Even I take, he said, you have a different way of teaching. I told him, no, sir, I referred so many books. I referred this book, I referred that book. I was handling OB for them. I referred this book, I referred that book, but still they are not listening, sir. I feel very much fed up. He said, please understand their language and you teach in their language, Priya. That's way you will be a good teacher. I don't want an expert teacher. I want a good teacher. So than to complain, you be more understanding. That is what is empathetic. He told me that still, I get goosebumps when I think of the what is that? The discussion I had with them. So that made me, that was really something, some one important point. Than to show my expertise in classroom, reading these many books and that many books, first I have to understand the mindset of a BBA student who is from a different background. He's from a rural area, or he has a problem in his family, or whether he understands English. So, or than to complain him that he's not a good student, first I have to understand whether I'm a good teacher. So that is what is the concept of this empathy. So let us all try to be more empathetic towards our students. that is, see, this is a very good diagram, I believe. So when there was a broken toy, you just say that's too bad. That is, you express you that it is bad. That is true. Already we know it is broken. You express it. That is sympathetic. But how to be empathetic is you try to hold it and you try to fix it along with the person who has broken it. So that is what is empathetic. So we need to be more empathetic. An outcome of empathy is when you show deep empathy towards others, their defensive energy goes down and positive energy replaces. That is when you can get more creative in solving problems. A very nice quote by Stephen Covey. I think we all know is Stephen Covey. So it is something a very, very nice thing. So we need to be deeply empathetic towards others, that when it comes to teaching, we need to be deeply empathetic towards our students, where the defensive energy goes down and the positive energy comes up and we become a very good in solving the problems. So the qualities of emotional intelligent teacher. So like, you can all do exercise where you can check yourself: expert, knowledgeable, authoritative, resourceful. That is column 1. Column 2, you're organized, timekeeping, clear speaking, clear directions. Column 3 is how far you're approachable, positive, empathetic. All these things is column 3. So you can just take a paper and you yourself can evaluate which column you are very strong. For example, in column 1, out of the 7, you have 7. Out of column 2, you have which, and out of column 3, what is your level. So you yourself can understand in which column you are very strong. The column 3 is about your EI and column 1 is about your like organizing and basics, and column 2 is about your IQ. These two things comes, and third is your column 3. So when you have a self check, you could get to know how good. So it is not that you have to be strong only in column 3. So as a teacher, we need to be strong in column 1, column 2 and column 3. That is what is the challenge of a teacher. So we need to be expert in all these 3 things. So a perfect teacher, that's what teaching and learning methods and their emotional intelligence and subject expertise. All these 3 things should be strong enough. So that teacher is called as a perfect teacher. So we need to be a perfect teacher. So all the column 3s should be strong. So we should be a good organizer, timekeeping, good facilitator, and then we need to talk well, and we need to study, and we need to elaborate, and we need to be more empathetical. So all these things is a blend of the perfect teacher. So how can we practice EI in classroom? Pay attention to self and others' body language. Very, very important one. We need to understand the body language of others, and we have to listen more, speak less. I know it's very challenging, right? Even I find it. So we need to listen more and we need to speak less. And we need to be curious and not furious. Okay, so we need to be more curious to know the problems, to know what is the things has created the gap, and not to be furious or not to be annoyed, and elicit pride in others. We should bring a pride in others, reason for working together. And we, very, very important point I would like to say is emotions are contagious. Okay, so it is contagious more than the COVID. What is a very big dangerous thing is the negative emotions. Okay, so the even in the many psychologists have discussed in this COVID has affected people who have more fear. So we can understand the role of emotion. In the same way, the negative emotions are contagious. So whatever is the negative we have, we need to flush out. As many experts have said, we have to flush out our negative emotions, and we should not carry it to the classroom, and or we should not spread it to anyone. So that is what is very, very important. So these are all the some small tips which we can say as a teachers how we can use EI. So this is what the qualities of an emotionally intelligent. Okay, think of the good teacher you have and what word or phrases capture it. Okay, so I would like to hear from you all. Okay, so I would like to hear from you all. So can any one of you or whoever has some experience, can you share it in this forum? Like how you have handled the student very well, and what has been the outcome of it, or how they are right now. Definitely each teacher would have faced that sort of situation. You would have handled a like a very rough student, or you would have handled a student with some mental traumas, tantrums. They would have had some tantrums, or they would have been not attentive, or they have not shown interest towards their education or something like that. So what is that, how you have is that any students you have handled, and how they are right now in the society? Or you can tell about your own teacher, how they have tuned you up. Now I did share you my experience, which I had in my initial phase of my career. So what my senior told me, so something like that.
Good evening, ma'am. Anil Tiwari here.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, right now, as you said, I had an experience. One of the student was living in slum area, and
Okay.
he was abusing every now and then to the other classmates. So I tried to understand him. I had a discussion with him, maybe like more than 2 to 3 months continuously. I treated him like a friend, and I have said him that you should be very polite to all the classmates as well as elders. And slowly, I have found the change in him, and then he has started taking participation in elocution competition and on, and he has won the prizes also, ma'am. So that way, he has developed his skill in that line. That was very nice experience which I had. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, really great. Yes, thank you, Anil sir. So that is something amazing, right? So you understood that the problem was with this background, okay, where he comes from, the environment. You cannot say background. Sorry, it was the problem was with the environment where he was brought up or where he was exposed to. He Anil sir understood it very rightly, and he was able to handle the emotions in a proper way. Great, sir. Any other? Or about any of your own teachers, how you describe them? Many of us are here as a teacher, it is because of someone whom we have inspired as a teacher. I think you all will agree, right? Even on a teacher's day, whenever it was celebrated, uh, whenever a teacher comes and shares, they quote a teacher who was inspiring to them in their own life, who have inspired them to be as a teacher, who made them as a teacher. So anyone you can share. So the emotional intelligence of your teacher or emotional intelligence of yours. Anyone? It looks like an online class. So now I think you can be more empathetical, because in online class we have this problem, right? So you ask someone to talk, they won't talk at all. You ask someone to share, you have to pull them from the participants list. So, but here it is the open forum. So I don't want to call the participants. So
Even though they are telling it's not audible, sir.
it's audible. Yeah, ma'am, we are not audible. That's so.
No. Students are telling like that.
That's true, ma'am. That's what I'm telling. Yes. Okay. Now I think here we cannot say that no tech, my line is not clear. No, no answers. Anyone? Participants?
No, ma'am, not like that. Yeah, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am. You would like you want us to tell that whom we think when we think about a good teacher, right?
Yeah, emotionally intelligent teacher. That is who has inspired you by their emotional balance, or about your own case study, how you have handled the students in a better way through your emotional balance, either this way or that way.
Because generally when we talk about teachers, I always remember my maths teacher, ma'am, in school days.
Okay.
Like she always used to whenever she used to teach, she used to ask me like questions, like, but I was very good in mathematics. And then one day I did not come to class because of some reason, and no, because of that I heard from other students that she did not teach, or that she was not no focusing much. I don't know why. Students were telling, ma'am, Anita, you did not come to the class. No, ma'am did not teach also properly. So I got emotionally connected when students know my friends were telling that in the school days. And then she used to teach so well, ma'am, and she was at the same time no, she was very caring also. I know that made us no that makes me in my life to remember her throughout.
Okay, great, great, Anita ma'am. So what was the concept is like now you could have heard from Anil sir, Anita ma'am. So everywhere it was a role of emotion. So Anita ma'am, she said how that madam made her feel important, right? So
Yes.
even after years, okay, it could be some years, still now she says about her school teacher, how she made her feel that she is a very nice student, or how she made her feel Anita ma'am as a very important personality. So that is what is the way we have to handle the emotions of our student. As like Anil sir said, than to be judgmental, okay, than to be judgmental, he is very like bad student, or he doesn't use his right words, or he's very problematic, than to label the student or than to be judgmental. We can understand what is their problem, and we can understand their emotions, and when we heal it out or when we work it out, definitely they turn out to be a good student. And finally, what is that? It is also a selfish for us. Our classroom teaching is done in a better way. There comes the efficiency of classroom teaching. So that is what is the concept I was trying to share. Thank you all for sharing it. And 2 minutes, I'll finish it off. Yeah. So management of emotional intelligence. So what are all the ways we can manage? Self-awareness, know your story and how it affects you. Make peace with your past, know your beliefs, your emotion, know your relationship pattern. These are all some of the ways where we could get to know about our own self. So first, than we know about any of the people's story, first we should know about our own story. As a Priya, I should know my own story. I should know what is my belief, what is my relationship pattern. And only when I get to know those things, I can go for a proper self-management. So how do I go for self-management? So you learn more skills on breathing and relaxation. Okay, so there are so many tips. People share so many tips, but the best way is like meditation, yoga, where the breathing has a implication on the emotion. There are a lot of studies which has been conducted. So you have your learning skills for breathing and relaxation, and you have an emotional healing within yourself, and motivate our own self. No one is the best motivator than us. So we have to motivate ourselves on our own and maintain a healthy eating. That is very, very important. And then next comes your social awareness, where you understand the non-verbal signals, not that alone what people say, what people express. learn the nonverbal cues, and develop a positive view of others. As like how Anil sir said, like we have to understand the student, we have to have a positive view, and understand the basic human emotional needs, need for recognition, need for appraisal. Those things we have to understand, and understand the gains, and then personal aspects, all those things is your social awareness. And comes your relationship management, where you develop skills for reflective listening and empathy. So that is very important. Healthy assertiveness, I think social skills, social intelligence, Abba ma'am has given about assertiveness. So learn skills for healthy assertive. We should not be aggressive, we have to be assertive. And very important, we have to know about conflict resolution skills. So these are all the some of the ways where we can enhance the 4 domains, because I have taken these points to based on the questions which you have posted on chat in previous sessions. Some of you have asked question, people make us angry, how could I control my angry? So there comes your conflict resolution or a relationship management. And some of you have asked question, I get mood swings or I just go low down, how could I balance it? There comes your self management, so where you motivate your own self. And then you have a problem in classroom, handling a bad student, there comes your integrity. And then where there comes your positive perception. So these are all the 4 areas of emotional intelligence. And then the find the emotional balance. It's like, you know, an elephant can stand on a ball. I think in circus, we all like circus, you know, because there anything can happen. People are trained. What is that? Animals are trained. So that is the way we can train our mind. So we are like a big elephant, and this as like the ball, there's the tool of emotional intelligence. So we can balance our own. We as an elephant, in the sense, I don't mean the personality of us, I mean the roles we play in our life. As an individual, we play the role of a teacher, we play the role of a mentor, we play the role of a facilitator, and we play the role in a family as a father, mother, and we play the role as a spouse and in-laws, so many things. So we are giant as like elephant. So how could we balance? Okay, very simple. With a ball of like, you know, understanding your emotional balance, we could balance ourselves in a better way. And then the order of the life, which I would wish to share to you. So what is this order of the life? You know, in the 4 quadrants, it was stating that we should have a good healthy way of living. So first order of life is we should have a healthy lifestyle, that is you should have a healthy physical workout, that is the first order. And second order is we should have a good family relationship, or we should have a good relationship with the people around us in our day-to-day life. So that is what is the second order. The third order is the balance between our mind and our feelings. That is with our heart and brain. There is always a conflict between what our heart says and what our mind says. So we should have a proper balance. And then the fourth is your good relationship. And the fifth is comes your spirituality. That is the divinity. That comes your final order of your life. And then the last quote I would like to end is, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, even you did for them, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So that is a quote which I would like to end up for this session. We as a teacher, we can make the students feel better, we can make the people around us feel better, and definitely we will be a memorable person in their life. Thank you all. Thank you for being with me, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to address you all. Thank you. And as like all the experts said, I am not an much expert like all the people. I tried my best, and I think I have done justice for the title. And I wanted to give an awareness of this topic, so that we will be able to travel together in a better way in our phase 2 and phase 3. Thank you all. Over to you, Kavita. I couldn't hear you. I don't know whether the problem is with my mic or your mic. Vignesh, can you hear?
Ma'am, am I audible now?
Ah,
Okay, ma'am. So thank you for the wonderful session, ma'am. As your quote says, like people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So we will never forget you, ma'am, because you made us very comfortable and you have given your wonderful session. So we'll never forget Dr. P. Priyadarshini. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for a wonderful session. Okay,
thank you all.
right.
And
Uh,
question feedback link.
Yeah, I've given the feedback link to your mobile, ma'am. Could you please check so that we'll post it, ma'am? It is ready. Kindly
Yes.
check.
Okay, you can post it.
Okay, shall I post it?
Yes, dear participants, you have some 10 questions. Okay, so you can answer and you can post it in this forum.
Yes, ma'am. So moving to the vote of thanks session. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for this short-term training program on emotional intelligence for teaching staff and enhancing efficiency of students phase 1. So I would like to thank all our speakers of our program, Dr. Nazrul Islam sir, Dr. Maran sir, Dr. Adamana Prasad sir, Dr. Abba Bhatia ma'am, Dr. Latha Lavanya ma'am, Dr. Damodaran sir, Mr. Prabhu Swaminathan sir, Dr. Uttira ma'am, Ms. Harini Ramaratnam ma'am, and Dr. P. Priyadarshini for sharing their valuable time and their effort they took to share their thoughts and their experiences with us. I extend my gratitude to our beloved chairperson, principal, and head of the department, because without them, this program would have not happened very successfully. So thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to thank my staff members and Dr. Usha, ma'am, one of the coordinators, because without their support, this would have not happened. Once again, I thank you all. Thank you all the participants because you have made this short-term training program in a successful manner. Thank you all. And our phase 2 session commences from 30th November. So kindly join on time. Thank you all. We'll meet again on the phase 2 session. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Kavita. Thank you
Yes.
for your wonderful support and coordination. And thanks to Quick Start Academy, who are our technical partners. And I'm very proud to say that they are our alumni of Tagore MBA students. They have started their own consultancy and they host these sort of technical events. So thank you, Quick Start Academy. And thanks to Dr. S. Usha, Associate Professor of MBA Department, for her support and her hard work in making this program happen. And I thank all the participants who have been a wonderful participants and who have been very interactive and being in this, at the end of every end of the day, you all are managing yourself to make it happen. So thank you all. So feedback link has been posted and you have some 6 questions. So you can just give a one-line answer for it.
We have around 10 questions, ma'am.
10 questions, okay.
So participants, do you have any questions or do you have any doubts so that we can clarify it right now? Okay,
so
shall we wind up?
For phase 2, we need a registration again. So because there are few people who may join it, a new participants it's also open for new participants. So for phase 2, we need a new registration. Those who are interested, you can register. Participants, you have any feedback you want, you can give some comments for for making this program in a better way.
So shall we wind up, ma'am?
Yeah, I think they have to fill the form, no?
Oh, fine.
Any questions or any doubts?
Ma'am, good evening, ma'am. Kirti here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for arranging such a wonderful session, ma'am. It's really helped the real-time scenario during this pandemic. I just want just one clarification whether the phase 2 and phase 3 has a different set of things, or all this together completes our STTP.
No, you mean the certificates, right?
Yeah, on the
No, for
repository
those who
things.
have attended this 1 week, that is a phase 1, they will get a separate certificate. And those
Okay.
who have completed all the 3 phases, they will get a separate certificate.
Okay. So anyone who doesn't attend first phase can attend the second and third part also, ma'am.
Yes, they are welcome.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. It will help our colleague also to
Yeah,
take
sure.
participate. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
ma'am. Thank you for arranging a wonderful session. It's a timely topic, I could say. So that was wonderful. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for all the speakers, the resource persons, and well organized event, madam. Kudos to you all, and we expect the same in second and third. We are there to support you, madam. Thank you. This is Satyanarayan.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Hemant sir, for joining. Thank you. So I think we can wind up. Hope all of them have filled the question.
Okay, ma'am.
Participants, shall we wind up or anyone needs time? That's not a problem. You can just post it. That's fine. You know, hope there is no further queries. So we are winding up. Thank you. Thank you all.